interesting enough, Sam. Yeah. After that, like say, Liverpool are trying to get themselves back in the game. The manager takes Wirtz off and goes to Chiesa. He basically looks at his bench and goes, which of these can play centre forward? Because in 2 weeks now, Liverpool have done the thing where they take the striker off, Ekatike, and got worse. And they've gone for this, it's like a box. You'd say Wirtz and Szoboszlai is like fake 10s. Neither time has it really worked for me. For me, in my opinion, there's no outball, it invites pressure, it feels like there's too much space. It's meant to stop space, and yet there is space. So before we talk about the full-back being problems, but I think Liverpool, again, it goes back to the lack of centre-forward options maybe, but both times we took Ekatike off and got considerably worse.
It's a little bit concerning that so many of these teams who've had full pre-seasons or have got new players are able to play the full game. I can't remember who I said, but I remember saying, how's that player managed to play the full game on debut or whatever in the Premier League, but then a team that dominates the ball, Ekatike can't? Why has he only got 70 in him? Why has he not got 80 in him yet? I'm a little bit concerned, but I also understand that he's trying to obviously manage him through the rest of this transfer window to make sure we don't lose him. Wirtz, apparently, I saw Simon Brunder's tweet that he did some ridiculous amounts of running and sprints and stuff like that, playing a midfield role in a pressing team. I understand maybe why he's going to take a little bit longer, but it is worrying when you bring in you know almost £200 million of a talent off and they can't finish the game yet. They've both played Champions League or Europa League football weekend. They've both played intense international games as well as in their leagues. I don't buy that. Oh, they're going to take they're not coming from the Championship. So it's a little bit worrying that they both can't get through 90 with one game a week. But he did what he should have done in the finals. Like, when you need a goal and you bring on and you've got a box, where are you getting it from? All they're going to do is shut Salah and Gakpo down. So by bringing Chiesa on, you bring it on a forward, and he might not be a striker like naturally, but he's a forward player who's got experience to score a goal. He should have done that in the final. That was a mistake. The final, the Charity Shield. That was a mistake he made. And he made the right call bringing him on in this game.
Yeah, the guy doesn't miss the target when he shoots.
Never.
What did you make of Wirtz, John? As a game, because I thought without the ball, I think he's brilliant.
I think it's class.
But on the ball,
I think
there's still work to be done. I
think he's like 60% of where he's going to be. You know, you see flashes of absolute genius from him, and then you see him make a really bad pass, or he gets pushed off the ball a bit. I think there's a lot of improvement to come. I like what I see, but he's not there yet.
I think he's class. I think had he signed for us the year before and played the normal season last year and done really well, or we were still at Leverkusen, he put in that performance, he'd get a 7 out of 10. I think his way to pass, his vision, the way he turns and plays the ball forward a lot, the way he's able to drop in, play 1-2s, he's going to lose the ball a lot. Kevin De Bruyne lost the ball a lot. David Silva lost the ball a lot. Salah loses the ball a lot. When you're in those positions, you will lose the ball a lot because you're trying to be constantly positive. Trent lost the ball more than anyone in the league, but we saw what he could do. I think someone put something on the TV or someone says he's a footballer. Footballers appreciate how good he is because to play with and around him is very hard. For a fan, you're like, where's your goals? Where's your assists? But when you're watching him, I think you can really see the quality. I completely agree with you though, John. We're nowhere near the end product.
You know what it reminds me? You go back to player. We're obsessed with player comparisons, and I am. I know. Maybe I'm just an idiot to do this. I talked before about Ekatike being like Crouch with legs. For me, he's like Thiago with legs. Thiago's just sharp. The body positions are amazing. The way to pass is fantastic, and he'll do your head in sometimes. But to be fair, so he got about the pitch. He looked goosed when he come off, and that's something he'll have to work on, I suppose.
They're the fittest team in the league, Bournemouth. I don't know, fact.
Yeah, they're great.
So we've got to also take that into account.
They're really good.
I mean, we have faded badly though in the last half hour of the games we played.
We're not fit, are we? Which is mad because we had a full pre-season. But again, the disruption to pre-season, I understand it.
He's done it right though, Steve. You're supposed to drop your fitness off and rebuild it up. You're not supposed to come into the season flying because then you peak off at the end. It's about that growth, isn't it?
We had a chat earlier on from LFC Mab who said, morning, gents. Let's just be honest, we're all just singing the Chiesa song, aren't we? And is the answer. What I would say is it's a very... I know there's a bit of bouncing ball, whatever, to the finish, but it's actually a really good Liverpool move. The ball from Alisson is pinpoint.
Yeah.
Szoboszlai's touch is fabulous. Salah's cross is excellent. Curtis Jones' run is brilliant.
He should probably anticipate it more as well, shouldn't he?
Jones is an inch away from getting into that one, and then we keep the pressure on, and then it's actually, before we talk about the finish, Liverpool in the 88th minute, it's good they didn't panic. That's not a panic. Everyone there does, the job correctly, really, and that's what ultimately leads to a bit of fortune going your way.
Oh, John, I know you were here, Steve, but I'm sat there thinking to myself, it's going to be one of those seasons this year, isn't it, where it's not going to always go our way. You know, we've had it a couple of seasons where it's gone our way, but, you know, we're building a bit. There's still more to come, but you can see the pressure's coming on here. Like, it's 88 minutes, you're thinking, it's not going to happen. I might get a corner. I remember Verge against West Ham. It's all going through your head, every single emotion. But you are right, Steve. We just keep playing, and having that forward on the pitch makes a difference. They panic. They panic. Their two defenders jump for the ball. They feel Anfield. They feel Liverpool at that point. It's probably the first time in the game they actually felt it.
Well, I mean, that cross from Salah was absolutely wicked.
At first I went, it's a poor... Oh, no, it's not. It's a really good cross. Like, you couldn't tell at first. It's even before the goal, Liverpool are building up, and then... The reason it goes back to Alisson is because Liverpool are building up. Van Dijk wins the ball and just knocks it back, and everyone just keeps their chill. Usually there's and I saw Man United this yesterday, they go and stick Harry Maguire up front and just bombs away. Like, Liverpool still tried to play football, and that earned themselves a bit of luck. What I would say on Chiesa, John, it's a really good finish.
It's astonishing
because his body position is almost wrong in a way, and that he's trying to anticipate where the ball goes, and then he reacts so quick. Yeah. That you can easily... It reminds me of the body position that Van Dijk got himself into. You know, when Origi scored off the crossbar, where you kind of lead in the wrong way. It's easy for that just to go straight in the air. For him to get his foot over, it's really
fabulous technique to be able to do that. As you say, falling away the wrong way. He's waiting for the ball, and he actually puts his body in a position where he can actually hit it properly. I mean, I think I listened to the commentary last night when I was watching the second half back, and Kaza says, "Oh, he's mishit that." And it was easy to think that because of the body shape. But the actual, the shot was absolutely brilliant.
Cult heroes come in different shapes and sizes. And it helps that he's got a boss song and everyone loves singing the song. Don't get me wrong, but it was just a season. That's his first Premier League goal. You know what I mean? Like, there was a season to forget for Federico Chiesa. His best moments come, he scores a very late goal in a cup final. He's involved a little tiny bit at Brentford. But he was just the he was just the forgotten man. Like, he just, that's all he was. He was just, there was nothing there. Or anything. It was just like, why isn't this lad playing? I don't know if he wasn't fit or whatever. And even this season, the manager has seemed a little bit reluctant to use him. But maybe, again, an Arne Slot knows more about football than all of us, and he sees everything behind the scenes. He'll have all the data and the fitness numbers, but he does look like a player who knows where the goal is, and he looks like a player who gets himself in good positions. I do wonder if we're getting to a little bit of an Origi style situation here where Divock's Liverpool career was over. It was it was gone. He was on loan, he was out of it, he was gone. He coming back. He has one moment effectively, Everton, and all of a sudden he's reignited them. Before you know it, he's scoring big goals in semi-finals and finals. I'd like to hope for Federico Chiesa this moment could be something like that, where all it takes is one moment in a career and things can change very, very quickly. And he's had an unbelievable moment there, and I think we'll see how the next even 2 weeks goes. He might not even be here. Yeah. But there's something there now to build on. He's had the moment that you can go, you know what? He's chasing a goal, you can get Federico Chiesa on the pitch. Because that's how eventually what Origi become. We need the goal, get Divock on. Yeah. And before you know it, then Divock's starting in semi-finals. Yeah. Is there a path there for Chiesa to do something similar for you? I think it's very different to Origi. I think he's a far better footballer than Origi. Yeah. What baffled me last season was Slot's lack of trust. There was a game against Paris Saint-Germain where Gakpo was broken and he shouldn't have even been on the bench, and he comes on and he was horrible. I might as well have got out the stands and threw a kit on. Honestly, Gakpo couldn't stand up and Chiesa was on the bench. Slot came across to me as a manager last year. He was petrified and making bold decisions because he was new to the job. He wanted to just get it right. You know what they say about the Dutch, they're very efficient, they're very straight. They don't really deviate away from their sort of pathway in so many ways, and he was very much that last year. I know I'm going with what I know. I'm not going to try and go too crazy, make gambles. But what he's probably learned over this last 12 months is that Liverpool Football Club does things to footballers, to managers, to fans, to players that no other football club does. And Chiesa feels that. You can see it when he's on that pitch. He's like feels the red. You know what I mean? He feels it, and when he's on that pitch, he comes on. He's energetic. He's all over the place. He's trying to link up with Salah. He's trying to just be the extra body, and then he gets his goal, and that's what happens at our club. And I'm hoping now the manager realises that, do you know what, maybe it's worth it. I think he learned it with Elliott last year. Give him a little bit of trust, actually, but he never got there with Chiesa.
He played him in that FA Cup defeat, didn't he?
Yeah. And with a bunch of kids and miscellaneous players,
and he didn't produce the goods, no. and I don't think Slot ever trusted him again, did he?
It's just it's surprising. Salah would have stunk the gaff out in that game. He had nothing to play with.
We haven't seen Chiesa that we all know from the past, where he's dropping his shoulder and going past people and all that. We haven't seen that yet. But a lot of that's probably down to confidence and coming back from a bad injury.
And getting a game as well. He has to start the game of the week for us.
He's got to start more. He's got to get more minutes anyway, hasn't he? And I love the fact how humble he was at the end when he was interviewed and he said, he pointed out it was his first Premier League on and said, better late than never. You know, and I thought, the guy's got class, hasn't he?
It's interesting because his head, John, could be anywhere. We don't know where he's at, but like, his reaction's telling. First of all, I'm the man. I love that. Like, I'm the man. But then, like, he is pointing at the badge, and we always say, you know, the footballers mean it. Like, did he really, whatever? Like, he pointing at the badge sometimes is seen as like a, you know, you kiss your badge and the next week you're getting off kind of thing. But I don't know. I get the sense from him, and again, just watching him in glimpses and how he is about the place. He seems to love it. I go back to that Brentford game when Núñez scores. Chiesa in the celebrations is going absolutely off his head. I was at the Palace game. Obviously last game of last season, when the crowd starts singing the song and he's dancing around with the trophy. I don't get the sense that he's someone who's desperate to get out of here. He wants to play, obviously, but it looks like he's
I don't think we can afford to.
I'll be stupid now.
But he can offer something. Yeah. I think he's a good enough footballer to come on the pitch. He's experienced. Guy's won international trophies as the main man. He's played for Juventus, who's, you know, pressure. He was Fiorentina's mate. This is an experienced footballer. I don't know. I think that Slot has just decided. You know, sometimes this happens. It doesn't mean he's a bad manager. It's just sometimes you just decide that player's not really going to do it for you. But actually, we're human beings. Everyone can be wrong. And apart from the Plymouth game, which 1-11 were poor that day, in my opinion. Literally one. And every sub that came on, and it was disjointed, it was all over the place. And understandably, and probably did us a favour in the end going out. But bar that game, even the Atkinson game, he looked way above anybody else. I remember him playing against Southampton in the Cup, looked sharp, could have got a couple of goals. He was decent in the Wolves game early in the season. He was great against PSV, got the penalty, probably should have had another penalty in the second half in that game. He's always involved.
Yeah,
you know, gets the goal in the cup final. Yeah, without VAR, maybe he gets another goal because VAR just kills that game. Gets a goal yesterday. It's like, at what point is the manager going to go, do you know what? You've had a poor game, Gakpo. I might just start Chiesa on the left. I can always bring you on.
The interesting one for me, John, is like this is his second year of a 4-year contract, and he is only 27. Like he gets treated a bit like he's this washed up fella who's just hanging on a little bit. Like in theory, and again, he's had 2 bad knee injuries. Don't get me wrong, but like this should be his prime. I mean, first of all, the song's amazing, so that episode, and the vibes are great around him. But like, I am getting a Origi sense as like that. I really hope that could be the moment that Arne Slot goes, you know what, I could trust this guy more. He can play centre forward as well. We haven't got anyone. He can do that job. If I had to say to you now, do you think that is like a spark that kicks off something with Federico Chiesa? Would that be something that you could even acknowledge that might happen?
I'd hope so. I mean, I really want the guy to succeed. There's something about him. I don't know what it is. There's something so likeable about him. So from the moment we signed him, I think every Liverpool supporter was thrilled, and we're still really rooting for him. You know.
Fingers crossed it works out. Let us know your hot thoughts in the comments, guys. Federico Chiesa, I mean, first of all, I'm sure Liverpool should be keeping him now, but yeah, was that his Origi moment? Was that the one that sparks it off? Because, I say, Divock was the forgotten man, and all of a sudden he's no, he might get a statue at some point.
Can I just add something? I've never seen, like, been going to the match a long time. Maybe not as long as John, but for my lifetime, a long time. And the only other time I've seen the stadium in unison sing a song twice. Once LA against City, when it was 3-0, it was just ridiculous, or 2-0, I can't remember at the time. The second one was Fernando Torres. 2008, we played against Arsenal in the Champions League quarter-final. Hippier equalised to level the tie up 1-1-1-1. And Torres bent inside and just whipped it into the top bin in the Kop end, and the whole stadium was singing his song. And you know when you just sometimes have a second and go, oh, I did that a couple of times, not even once. It was ridiculous.
What was it like in there? That's my last question on this case.
I thought the atmosphere was fantastic.
When he scores, I'm watching on the TV, so I'm doing the watch along, so I can't really appreciate because I've got to have the volume quite down. When I go back and watch Paul's clips and Chloe's clips, it sounds amazing.
It's always that way when you come back from the dead very late in a game. The crowd is always brilliant if we score. But I think the fact that it was Chiesa, and we could sing the song, that was, you know, we genuinely had a reason to sing it. You know,
it was so good.
It was just brilliant.
Again, I really hope
everything. And you mentioned that in one of your tweets, the knee slide and everything. Everything was just perfect, wasn't it?
He is unbelievable. I go back to it. I do think Salah, Gakpo, Ekitike, you're probably going to have to sign someone. You would guess they're trying to sign someone if you need that fit, he's not a bad fifth option.
Absolutely.
He's, you know,
They're not going
to
buy two forwards, are they?
For all the talk about like Rio and Gamoa, he's a kid. Like Federico Chiesa, 27-year-old in his peak play. Just use him. Like if you've got to use him,
you're not going to play Rio this season. I don't think at all.
No, if we'd have been 3-0 up, he might come on there.
You get little minutes here and there,
that's
but
what
that's all he's going to get. And why should he get more? You've seen Owen; he was finished when he was about 24 because he'd started too early.
I remember the manager talking about Frimpong as like an option for when Salah goes to AFCON. You might have one here. We'll see how it all pans out with Chiesa. Like I really hope it is, because I say more than anything else, he's just dead likeable, and you want people who are likeable to succeed. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on Federico Chiesa. That was a clip from the Final Word show. If you'd like to check out the full show, head on over to redmenplus.com.